Hey everyone, it's about to get wild. Are you ready? Let's talk about it. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay, well, here we are. Well, here we are. We are at the doorway of Halloween. Excuse me. And we have a full blue moon on Halloween at 8 degrees of Taurus. Oh my gosh. You know, normally I would have put some mascara on for you guys, but I have not been sleeping. I can barely form thoughts some days. Mercury retrograde is like super extra. How are you doing? Are you sleeping? I don't know. It just feels wild. I'm going to do things a little differently this time. I'm going to talk about some different things and show them to you in different ways. I think you're going to get it though. You're going to understand what all this energy is doing. So this full moon is in Taurus, which means the sun is in Scorpio and the moon is in Taurus. Full moons are oppositions. And in my last video, I talked about this a little bit. 2020, the cards representing the energy of this year, the Fool is the primary energy with the Emperor as a supportive or secondary energy. And so this combination really means unexpected new beginnings to authority, structure, control, and power. And I'm pretty sure we all totally see this happening. We know this is happening. The Fool is the card that represents Uranus in astrology, and that's actually very important for this full moon because Uranus is conjunct the moon. So let's look at that. Here we have our moon at 8 degrees of Taurus, and it is opposing the sun at 8 degrees of Scorpio, okay? So with our lunar cycle, we generally have one lunar cycle in the opposite sign, and then, meaning Scorpio and Taurus are opposing each other on the wheel. And so we have consecutive new moons, full moons in those signs. So this one is in Taurus. Our new moon on November 14th or 15th, depending on where you are, will be a Scorpio new moon. It'll be happening right over here at 23 degrees. So we're in Scorpio season, and we're having our Scorpio lunar cycles. So, man, Scorpio season just in general is a really deeply intense period of time. That's actually a lot of what Scorpio energy is about: intense experiences, deep diving, shadow work, our ancestors. And that's actually a big theme with this lunar cycle too, is healing our ancestral wounds. Excuse me. And with Halloween coming, if you have ancestors, well, we all have ancestors on the other side. They are closer to us than ever. And if you've done the work and you have awareness around what your ancestral wounds or shadow themes are, it's really your job to do your best to heal that for your whole ancestral line behind you and in front of you. And it's a sacred task to undertake. So Scorpio has a high Phoenix energy about it. Without going too technical into that, the Phoenix stage of Scorpio is the ultimate transformational stage. And so the Phoenix cycle of burning away what is not you repeatedly in order to create the purest version of self. Each time you are made of what was left after releasing all the things you realized weren't you. The healing cycle is a gift, but it doesn't always feel great, you know, it's hard. We remineralize our souls, fortify ourselves with the courage it takes to let it all burn away over and over again as a fixed state of being, okay? That's like the Scorpio Phoenix cycle. Burning away to ashes and then rebirth from what is left. And what is left is what we have from our current state of being. It's what we believe is truly us after burning away what isn't. And in order to do that process, we have to know what is us and what is not us. Yeah. Oh, let's not get into this yet. Okay, so let's go back to this chart. So we're in the Scorpio season. We're phoenixing. Here we have Uranus conjunct the full moon. And look how tight this conjunction is. They're both at 8 degrees exactly. But look at the minutes. They're only 3 minutes apart. This is such a tight conjunction. It's so incredibly, it's so big. It's just so big. And this is the only major aspect being made to this full moon, which even makes that even bigger. And Uranus energy is a big energy. It's shock and surprise. It's neutral. It isn't, you know, good or bad, but it's unexpected. It's shocking. And this is setting us up for this next period of time, which, you guys, oh my gosh, can you feel it? I've been feeling something coming for a long time. And, you know, even though I do these videos and I talk about this a lot, I don't always look that far ahead, because then I would never do anything else. There's so much involved with like seeing what's coming. I try to stay focused on what's here now. And so when I started getting ready to do this video for you guys, I was just like, wow, just really wow. And I'll show you in a minute. So here we have our moon. Now I want to just draw your attention over here to Capricorn, where we have what are now being called the COVID planets. We have Pallas Athena, who is an asteroid, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. And if you remember, you might be aware of the conjunction that happened in January at 22 degrees of Capricorn. It involved Pallas Athena, you know, all these planets. The sun was involved. They were all conjunct at 22 degrees. Well, we have this happening again, and I will show you that here in a moment. So what we have here is a lovely graph that my Virgo sun really enjoys a lot. And what I have charted here are the levels of vibration of what the planets are doing in the sky. And this comes from the aspects that they're making. For example, if you look here at healing and harmony, Harmonics 3, 6, 9, and 18, the 3 is the trine. That means 3 parts of a circle. The 6 is a sextile, 6 parts in a circle. 9 is semi-sextile, and on and on and on. So when these planets are in aspects, they create a vibration. They don't make things happen, but they create a vibration that we have access to. And so here I have from October 15th to the end of November. Okay, we have some different things that I've charted here. Healing and harmony, the green line, which is pretty low, honestly. Inner wisdom, depth, and discipline. This is like going within. This is that hermit energy, which actually the hermit card in the tarot is the sort of energy guide for this full moon as far as the major arcana archetypes go. And so there's really this, you know, just sort of reminder to go within, to know whose star you're following. If you look at the card, I'm sorry I don't have a slide for you here, but you can look it up if you don't know what that card looks like. It's a, you know, a hermit holding a lamp with a star inside. And the idea is that the star inside is your own inner light that you are using to light your way. You're following your own north on your own path, you know, your own destined path. So if we look at this as sort of periwinkle color, you know, it looks like there's a little bit of that going on. There's a peak here, then a peak here. But, you know, I mean, you see this? This is the 13 vibration. And the 13 vibration in vibrational astrology is basically the vibration of Scorpio. It's basically phoenixing. It's that death, rebirth, transformational energy. And this is a huge spike, amping up around November 8th, okay? So just to get a little bit of a perspective on how big this spike is, let's look at this. So this is the 13 vibration for the whole year. Look at this. Normally, these spikes would be considered pretty high. You know, that's pretty high. But this is just off the charts. That is a very large amount of this death and rebirth transformational energy. And then here we have the whole year with several different, you know, all these different harmonics, vibrational patterns and energy going on. So let's look at something real quick. On November 12th, this is when we have this exact conjunction of Pallas Athena, Pluto, and Jupiter. Exact at 22 degrees, again, the same degree that the conjunction was in January. And interestingly, the date, I believe it was January 12th, that was either the day, the exact day, or the day before that the Chinese government was able to like code the COVID genetic sequence or something like that. Like that's when they were able to look at it and see what it was. It was like that same day of that conjunction at 22 degrees of Capricorn and involving these planets. So if we see this here, this conjunction begins to build actually around November 8th. Around here is when they begin to really tighten this up. And as you can see here, we have the 11 vibration, which is amping up. The 11 vibration in vibrational astrology is a very Uranus type of energy. It's impatient. It's, you know, like it can't sit still. It's restless. It's eager for change. So we see as those planets come into conjunction around this day, that energy starts going up. But then we also have this 17 vibe going up, which is, you know, really thinking about people that are different than you and caring about their experience. And it's really nice to see some of that in this graph here. Then we have the inner wisdom, that hermit energy to go inside and really know what's true. And then it just spikes with this 13 vibe, transformation, okay? So this is a lot. It's really a lot of energy, you know? Let's see what else I have going in here. The Jupiter, do I have that? This Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, this is the third Jupiter-Pluto conjunction we've had this year. And if you look at this graph, the first one was, it was in the end of April, I believe. And you can see it was in April sometime. And you can see this so in this chart, the 13 vibe is this sort of periwinkle purple blue. You can see this energy starting to build with that first conjunction, right? And then again, at the end of June, look at this spike right here. This is a spike of 17 vibration, empathy for other people that are different than you. The 11 vibration, which is that restless, eager for change energy. The 13 vibe, which is that death and rebirth transformation. This is right during the peak of the protests about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. I mean, you just can't make this up. It's right there. And then everything kind of goes quiet for a little while until basically nowish. And then for the end of the year, we have a lot of activity here. So this conjunction has been building each time, okay? So if you've probably heard of Sabian symbols, which are basically just verbal interpretations of each astrological degree. So the Sabian symbol for Capricorn 22 is, I believe, a general who graciously accepts defeat. Sabian symbols are usually a short statement, okay? There's another interpretation of astrological degrees that I really like called Chandra symbols. And I'm going to read to you the Chandra symbol for Capricorn 22. A bare altar covered with black velvet. Death is a force that brings into earth something from beyond, and this something is the X factor in the human equation. Your own previous deaths as major signposts which hold you to your noblest and most surrendered ways of being. Mortality has spoken. Immortality rises from the ashes. Can you believe it says this? I mean, it blows my mind how when there's a major energy, no matter how you look at it, through astrology, through tarot, through Hermeticism, through your own intuition, there is a common theme. And it just, I love it. It just blows my mind. Immortality arises from the ashes, a threshold awareness that hugs the edge between the worlds and bows before a God who presides over the living and the dead. You stride across worlds, in tune with myriad frequencies, and are quite able to make way for the unknown. That's Uranus, the infinite, the other side of life, a fiercely held intention to bow before what truly is and fall for nothing less, no matter how attractive or appealing. I mean, are you kidding me? If there was any way to sum up the core of what is happening in our world right now, it's that. It's this 22 degrees of Capricorn, that the outer planets are just, how kind they are to do their best to ease us into this energy by coming in, conjuncting, moving away, allowing it to build in a way that we can, survive it, where we can handle it. And even with that, I think we can all agree that this is hard. It's intense. It's scary. I'm not even saying that I know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure something major is going to happen. We have this election coming. Oh, and let me just say that even though this says here electional forecast, that's not about the election. That's just what my software calls this type of charting of the vibrational energy. It doesn't mean it's about the election. But we know the election is happening, in this energy. The election is happening right in all of this. The dogs think so too. I had to just go handle the dogs. They were barking at nothing, of course. Well, I can't say nothing. There were air molecules bumping up against each other in the yard, but they're handled now. Do you have dogs that do that? I call it startle barking, where they just go wild for no reason. Well, I'm sure they have their own reasons, but it seems like no reason to me. So I want to show you, if I can get this right, I want to show you the progression of that conjunction happening at 22 degrees of Capricorn. Where's my chart? So here we are at November. No, we'll start at November 10th. Okay. So here we are at November 10th. The moon is, about halfway, more than halfway, making her way to the Scorpio new moon. And here we have, well, I'm going to move this back a couple days. Let's go back. Okay, so here we are at November 6th. Well, just for fun, let's go to Election Day. Election Day, so Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Pallas Athena. This is technically already a major conjunction. They're all conjunct, technically. But as we move through the days, I'm going to show you how they become tighter and tighter and tighter until it's exact and that energy really builds. Now, just a side note about Pallas Athena. This asteroid, she has a very powerful warrior energy. And astrologically speaking, she is connected to the midheaven, which is our quantum life path, our destined career. Not just career though, but it's how the world sees us. It's what we contribute to the world. And so if you apply this not only to yourself as an individual, but to humanity or our country, for me, the United States, obviously. And what she does is, if you are stuck in ignorance or blinded by your ignorance, she will guide you through the necessary death and rebirth required for you to attain your wisdom, okay? Which is pretty effing profound considering what all of this means and what we're all doing and what's happening. Jupiter is, always thought of as a benefic, but what Jupiter does is makes things bigger. Pluto is rebirth, death, transformation. So we have this constant, huge theme. Jupiter is making this transformation big. Pallas Athena is like, all right, y'all, let's get the wisdom on. Let's sort of clear the muck out of your ignorant eyes. And I don't mean ignorant as an insult. Ignorance just means lack of information. And when you do the death and rebirth process, you become wiser because you learn what to shed. You learn what is real. And it is only what's real that you rebuild yourself in the next phase of rebirth with. I hope I said that right. Anyway, so November 3rd. So November 4th, just keep watching here. Watch these numbers as they start coming on in. So November 7th, Jupiter and Pluto are now both conjunct at 22 degrees. November 9th, they are all conjunct at 22 degrees. And then they tighten up the minutes here even, which happens, well, I can just show you, I've got it right here. Not that. I'm not sure why they did that. Here it is, November 12th, 12, oh no, 11-12. I was like, oh, that's 12-12. No, but it's 11-12, and it's, we're in the 11-11 gateway, which is really pretty special that this is happening at that time. So 22 degrees and 52 minutes for all three. Boom. November 12th. So then if we go back, can you see this? I'm not sure you can see this. Here we go. If we go back, it's all here. All of that is happening here. So, normally I would be talking about personal healing or, our own individual journeys, and that's definitely a part of this. And I would say that to do the ancestral work, to do the work of that 17 vibration of doing your best to extend your empathy across what appears to be, boundaries that you can't penetrate. Your empathy can penetrate them. You just can't be attached to it being returned, or, we can't be attached to outcome. That's the true wisdom of empathy, is to be able to give it and not to expect understanding or anything in return. I really don't know what's going to happen, but we were made for this. We are here for this. I'm here for you, and I'm just going to send you personally so much love. And, I really believe it's going to be okay. I am an eternal optimist, I admit, but we've got this. We can do this. We are here. We were born for this. You were born for this. I love you. Whenever you think of it, take a moment and just send some love to humanity and to yourself. Let's see how this goes.